Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to the last Cloudia video, and today we're going to be looking at the part 1 collaboration. They didn't reveal Nero's information, so we won't be looking at him. I'm assuming he's just the part 2, and they just told us directly who the part 2 unit was. Normally they don't actually do that. Maybe they do nowadays, but back in the day they never did that. So we have Vergil here. Alright, so he has the usual, force, 3 skills and 1 special, of course. And all of them seem okay. The one I'm looking at the most is the Rising Star. Of course, that has the closing gap, which is very important. And also it has a very wide area attack, which is very good. And I already know his special is actually pretty decent. It has a lot of hits at the end, so it's very good. Where he puts the weapon inside the sheath, and it does a lot of hits, so it's pretty good. So there's not really much to say on his abilities. They're pretty standard. He is a non-elemental unit, so that's why you don't see any kind of elements tied to any of his attacks on these skills here. So Devil Trigger, as long as you have only weapon equipped, so you definitely want to go ahead and do that. You'll be getting a lot of damage caps, more no attribute damage, so you want to try to stack some no attribute damage if he doesn't already have it on his passives. In a lot of those things, he'll be getting a lot of buffs and things, and a lot more damage caps. It's pretty standard. Most DPS have a lot of this stuff nowadays, but something in here makes him a little more unique than others, give or take, if you consider that. And concentration gives him even more damage to hit enemies, and at 30 hits, his max damage will be increased by 50%, and also he gets a 10k damage cap increase. And it resets each wave, which kind of sucks, but whatever. And whenever attacked, you cut the effect by 4 hits. I think that might need more description. I'm not sure what that means. Because it doesn't say any. Oh, the 30 hit thing is just, it's permanent. It sounds from okay. So as you get up to 30 hits, it'll just stay at 30 hits. It's not like it's going to go away. So your max damage will be increased by 50%. That's why it's reset there each wave. So you gotta earn those 30 hits back. That's pretty interesting. And if you get hit, or I guess attacked, just say hit, then you lose 4 of those 30 hits. I'm assuming 30 is probably gonna be the max, but you might be able to go higher than that. I'm not sure. Anyways, his skills, Doppelganger. You used all of your MP to give yourself Doppelganger buff, which I'm assuming himself, which doubles the hit count. This is his biggest strength here. Your hit counts will be your skill hits. Skill hits will be doubled, and you can only use it once per event or quest, and you can only use it while you have 1 weapon equipped. And you also have the SDT buff active. Whoops. Inactive. And there's something in here that was really interesting. The damage to non-boss enemies is just okay. It helps you clear the tower a lot faster. I guess that's what that's for. And I guess the doppelganger is the most interesting thing, really. I mean, everything else here is pretty standard. You can equip claw if you'd like. You get a little bit extra. Actually, that's a lot. Shoot that 20k. But if you equip a sword, you'll get physical attack damage 30% and damage cap 10k. So swords are a lot more easily accessible than claws. But let's see. Most people are leaning towards the sword though, because the physical attack damage is pretty good. But the problem with this unit is that Doppelganger can only be used once, and Doppelganger's is the strongest ability, which allows you to hit double skill hit counts. So that's your biggest thing. He's a very quick DPS. He's very not quick in the way like he's fast. Well, he might be fast, but you know what I mean. Like, you need to end things quickly with him, because once this Doppelganger runs out in the next wave or whatever it may be, I don't know if it has a duration. I'm assuming it does. Just like every buff in the game, they have durations. Unless it's like a charisma. I don't believe those have any durations, but I don't. This is the biggest This is the biggest upside and downside for this unit, because you have to use all of your MP to give it, and you can only use it once. Now, let's take this a step forward and say, yeah, okay, you gotta use all your MP, but you can earn it back by, you know, Goddess Kiss or whatever else you may use to get his MP all the way back up to full, and then you could use it again. But the biggest restriction is the only one's use. So that's the biggest downside to him. The biggest upside is that it exists, but the biggest downside that it also exists. So I don't really know what the meaning of that is. Honestly, I don't really like that too much. But hey, it is what it is, guys. I don't know. What do you guys think about Doppelganger in the comment section down below? I'm kind of torn on it. It's good, but it's also bad. Well, there's gotta be weaknesses for every unit at some point, I suppose. And then all the SC0 passives that he has down below is pretty standard. Everything there is pretty standard, I would say. I wouldn't. Two-handed claw is actually kind of unique, I guess. He does have some killing. But the Bayland, the new Bayland that came out a little while ago, I believe, he has a lot of killers and stuff, and slayers and whatnot. And this guy doesn't really have that. So they're kind of almost the same unit, but Bayland kind of has an edge in terms of what things that he can do. So this is really kind of a head scratcher that they would make him like this. But he is the part 1. Usually part 2s are better, for the most part. I mean, sometimes it's not the case. Maybe in testing, this guy will be a lot better than what he looks on paper. Because currently on paper, he just looks like a very fast DPS. You want to get things done very quickly, and then his damage drops off a cliff. So that's basically it. He'll be very good against one-wave bosses in tower, for example, like really good. But against like multiple waves, he's gonna falter a little bit. And let's go over the arc. Before I give my score to Vergil, we're gonna go over the arc. So this is an LR arc, which means it's gonna be a little harder to obtain than a normal SSR arc. But I've obtained. Maybe I'm just very lucky, but I've obtained some LR arcs on my account, so maybe I'm just very lucky. We got the trait, boost Squizzle damage, attack damage based on how much HP remaining. Okay. Fire, no physical, no attribute, special damage 40%, that's pretty good. And a small cap increase, special damage cap increase would be pretty good. With the same type as the unit though, that kind of hurts a little bit. I don't really understand that restriction too much, because that little bonus there is not that big of a deal to worry about that. So some learnable skills: Fate, physical attack damage 15% to enemies with the same type as unit. Whatever. Auto speed, fine. No attribute. Critical raise. No, I don't recognize that one. I'm sure it exists somewhere, but that's actually pretty good. And then critical skills charge 3, attack max is decent. But that no attribute critical raise is actually pretty decent. So I would give this. I wish I knew the ability, like, or not the ability, like the reward. That I don't think they showed. Either that or it's cut off, which I don't think it is. It's not. I just looked at the full screen. So without knowing the arc reward, I guess we'll just have to ignore that. I'm sure it'll be pretty decent. Most times they are pretty decent, so we'll have to consider that, guys. So I think I'm going to go ahead and give this an 8 out of 10, really only because the trait is only just okay, and I'm sure more arcs in the future are going to have something similar to this. And the no attribute critical race is pretty good as well, but everything else, I really don't like the same type as unit kind of thing, because that makes it really niche. And I'm sure most of you guys will agree with the same thing there, but the artwork is really good. Anyways, on to grading Vergil. What should we grade him? Well, there's already a unit in the game that's kind of better than him on paper. Now in testing, that might change completely. But we know most things that are currently coming into the game for this guy. So the Doppelganger is giving him a good score and also is lowering. It's so weird. It's like it's lowering it. It's raising his score, but also kind of lowering, because I don't like the restriction on that. It's kind of annoying. His damage is going to be significantly less if there's multiple waves where there's like hard enemies. Like there are like things in this game that have hard enemies, and then there's multiple waves of those hard enemies in some situations. So you have to use your doppelganger well, and you can't auto because the AI probably will use doppelganger on the first wave, which will be really annoying. So I think I'm gonna go 8.5 in total for this guy. He's lacking SC0 killers and slayers for enemies. The doppelganger thing is kind of annoying, but it's also really good, like I keep mentioning. And everything else there is just okay. Nothing screams like super insane. Like the closed mega boost is just okay. I guess it kind of helps when you're taking hits, because you will be taking hits since you're gonna be lowering your hit count, the 30 hit count. So I guess it's okay in that. And then the armor HP plus is like okay. So it's not really a big glass cannon unit, but it's like okay. So I guess we're not getting a Dante, by the way. I guess it's just Nero and Vergil. We'll have to see how that goes. Anyways, let me know in the comment section down below if you're going to pull for Vergil still, or you're just pulling because you're a fan of this character. And I know a lot of you guys are. I was pretty hyped, even though I never played this game. I know he's a big deal and he's a big meme and everything, but I think they could have done better. I gave him 8.5 out of 10, but I think they could have done a lot better. If you have Bayland, the shift version of Bayland, you should not be pulling for this. You should not be pulling. You might actually get him for free for those tickets, because we're getting quite a few tickets. So fingers crossed, might get him for free. That'd be quite nice. Anyways, guys, thank you guys very much for watching. Sorry for the long video here, but I like to go a little in depth on these things. So if I could show you guys the in-game stuff, I would, so you'd have more details. But this is pretty close. Unlike other games where they don't really tell you everything, they usually tell you everything you pretty much need to know for a unit. They don't really hide anything, which I commend them for that. I will commend them for that. Give a round of applause, because they don't really hide things, unlike a lot of other games that I play. Anyways, appreciate you guys watching. Thank you for your time, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.